Hey guys, Mike from Black Bear Custom Kydex. I've got a video for you today on this sweet stainless ESEE-4 with knife connection handle scales. I really like this thing. I didn't think I was going to like the stainless as much as I do, but man, I really love it. And of course, the knife connection, always making really great handle scales. I actually like the factory scales on the 4, probably best of all their factory scales, but or at least on the well, I'm trying to think it through here. Yeah, between like the 3, 4, 5, and 6. I think the 4 would be the only one that I actually really like the handle scales on. But in any event, these are even nicer, so that speaks to the quality that Knife Connection has. So this one is going to Brad. Brad asked me if I could make him a sheath that would have, so this was a little bit of a funky one for me. He sent me a large ESEE pouch, which if you're not familiar with, one second. Okay, so there's the classic ESEE pouch, which is a really good size. It's a fairly compact setup, and you can fit quite a bit in it. Usually they come with the ESEE tin inside, so you can see that the tin fits comfortably in the pouch, but the pouch isn't much bigger than that. So that's what we got. The large ESEE pouch is almost double the size of this thing. It's a great setup, but you can see the difference. So when you're talking about a pouch this size and a knife this size, you're going to likely be covering the whole sheath with the pouch. So we're going to get into it and show you. He came up with a pretty cool idea though, and I think that really makes this sheath versatile. So the big thing with this is that everything you're seeing here is reversible. You can actually wear this, excuse me, it's currently set up to be worn right-handed, but you can switch all of the components or half of the components. You can mix and match and switch them around to either side. So that's a really cool thing. To do that, you're going to have to get a little bit creative sometimes with, you know, which hardware, spacers, and all that you're using. But this is, I think, the best way to have it, the most compact way to have it set up with all of it attached. So he had asked if I could, he sent me the factory clip for his ESEE-5, and he asked if I could put that on there. He asked if I could mount an ESEE pouch on the front, and he asked if I could also build a nylon dangler. So we got that here. He wanted to have my logo on there somewhere noticeable but out of the way, I think he said, or something like that. And so I had shown him something I did to a nylon dangler before, and he wanted that. So we have a little, the sheath is OD green. Obviously we got black for the pouch, the nylon, ESEE-5 factory clip, and then I chose OD green. Well, actually he requested specifically OD green for the logo plate on the dangler. So now that doesn't just function as a logo plate. I actually like it a lot because obviously it shows off the brand, but more importantly, it actually stiffens the nylon even more, and it just makes it feel more secure. The nylon has less of a tendency to bow outward, which means it's actually going to suction to your belt, not suction, but it'll hug your belt a little tighter, meaning less lateral travel on your belt without unwanted, you know, unless you choose to move it, it's less likely to move. So what I've done here is I've shared, you can see the ESEE plate uses 4 drill holes, and I've shared the top 2 drill holes with a plate of the same drill hole spacing, and the plate has the dangler adapter mounted to it. So I know this gets a little bit convoluted if you're like trying to figure out how to put the whole thing together. Maybe I can get a little bit better light down on it. It doesn't look like it helped. Well, maybe you guys can see this a little better. Hold on. Bear with me. How's this? I think that actually works out pretty good. Gets the light out of my eyes too. So yeah, I just created a little plate out of 0.125 inch Kydex. I mounted a dangler adapter, basically the piece that I mold around the bottom of the D-ring, and then I attached the dangler to that. And so these spacers are very, very important, because what they do, you can get away with it if you have your plates low enough that nothing interferes with the mouth of the sheath, but it's really important that you have spacers in there to prevent all of these plates from compressing and touching the part that's molded around the handle of your knife, because if it's not able to spread, then the Kydex, it makes the draw really stiff. It's essentially the same idea behind a lock on a knife, like a slide lock. All it's doing is preventing the Kydex from spreading. The tie tactical, snap over lock, whatever you want to call that, same idea. It's just another mechanism that prevents the Kydex from being able to spread apart. So, yeah, so that's all you'd be doing by tightening down the plates too close or too tight onto the handle. So definitely watch out for that. Right now, the plate that holds the pouch is slightly touching the handle, but it's not interfering with retention. Right now, the retention on this is like, I think this is perfect. It's a nice ballistic one-handed draw. Get a good click going in. There's no rattle, no play. Sometimes you can hear the Chicago screws on the dangler tapping against the back of the belt clip. But yeah, the knife itself, no rattle, no play. Ballistic one-handed draw. You can see I'm doing that sideways. I've got the broadside facing up, and it's still easily ballistically a one-handed draw. So yeah, I'm really happy with this thing. I think it came out cool. He did ask specifically for the whole knife to mirror the shape of, or the whole sheath rather, to mirror the shape of the pouch. So that's why we have that curve down there. You know me, I would probably otherwise have done, something extending slightly beyond, although maybe not, just because the pouch here, excuse me, the pouch here is so much bigger than the regular ESEE pouch. So in any event, that is what we have, and I don't think I'm missing anything. I think I've talked about everything. You can, well, yeah, one last point. You can absolutely adjust the height of any of these things on here. I mean, the pouch, obviously, I think is only going to look good if it's at this height, although you can wear it on either side. But the clips, the dangler, those are actually going to fit anywhere on the spacing vertically. So all the way down to these two widest screws, or drill holes rather, up to the two at the very top, it is it's symmetrical spacing all along the sides. So you do have that option, and of course ambidextrous. Yeah, I'm looking down from the handle down to the center of the sheath. I actually got it really well centered, so I'm very happy with that. Yeah, you can do whatever you want. I'm going to throw in some extra hardware and spacers just in case you decide to remove some of the parts of this. Oh, actually, while we're on that topic, if you're going to rock the whole setup, I would definitely recommend having the dangler underneath the ESEE-4 clip, because as it sits right now, yeah, it'll kind of prevent it from being able to go out that way, but you basically don't need it to do that as a dangler. But it doesn't inhibit anything else. Whereas if the dangler were on the outside of the clip would be useless. Although I guess you could fold the dangler down and then just use the clip. However, that also means that the D-ring adapter here has to be lower than this, at least lower than the clip itself, but probably lower than this surface up here that the clip is mounted to. So you got to think about all those things, I think, when you're going to use it. But this is the most versatile setup, in my opinion, the way it is right now. And you can certainly take this plate off, rock it with just the dangler, take the dangler off, rock it with just the plate, and 100% ambidextrous. So that's what I got for you guys. If you like the sheath, if you like the video, definitely hit that like button. If you like the channel, subscribe. Let me know what you think of this sheath. Let me know what you think of Brad's idea to have this be totally ambidextrous with multiple carry setups and the big pouch. Very obviously, I wouldn't call it cluttered, but I'd say it's a used up amount of real estate. There's not much more you can do with this before it does become really complex and cluttered. But I think this is a very cool sheath. It's very unique, and I'd love your opinions down below. And tell me what you guys think of. Everybody loves the knife connection handle scales, I think. But tell me what you think of the stainless ESEE-4 versus the regular factory with the traction coating on it. So I'm a big fan of the stainless. I gotta say, I'm impressed. Very cool. All right, guys. I appreciate you tuning in. Stick around for the next one. God bless.